Good morning, friends and family of YouTube. It's Travis again, and today we're going to be hiking Crip Gap Trail. So it's less than 4 miles round trip, so it shouldn't take that long, hopefully less than a couple hours. But before we get started, let me give you some directions on how to get here, and those are coming up right now. If you're driving from the Maryville-Alcoa area, you will pass through the city of Townsend, and then you'll come up here to the Townsend Y. If you go to the left, that takes you back towards Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge area, but we're actually going to turn to the right today, going towards Cades Cove. Pass through this tunnel, which is always a nice little scene. Alright, so when you pull up here, there's parking on both sides. It's about a 10-minute drive from the Townsend Y, and on our right there is Crip Gap Trail and also Turkey Pen Ridge, and then over to the left is Lead Cove and Finley Cane. So 4 different trails right here at this parking area. Now I'm on the correct side. I'm going to be over here on the right today for Crip Gap, but I'm going to go ahead and, while there's no traffic coming, I'm going to go ahead and turn around and park on the other side, so when I get ready to leave I can just go ahead and head that direction, because traffic will definitely get a lot worse as the day goes on. It'll be more difficult to make that turn that I just did. So anyway, let's get parked and situated, and we'll get started. All right, welcome back. So as I was saying, this is Crip Gap Trail. Basically you take the same path for Turkey Pen Ridge, and it'll break off here in just a minute. It's less than 4 miles round trip, depending on how far you go. It actually is gonna go up here to hit the Anthony Creek Trail. So, but that's as far as I'm going to go and come back. Just needed to get a short hike in, and thought this would be a good one. I've done it once before, going all the way up to Anthony Creek and a little bit farther. So anyway, like I said, just wanted to get a short one in. About 3 or 4 miles was what I was looking for. Weather today is phenomenal. It's like 65 degrees. When I left the house, it's probably closer to about 60 here in the mountains. Supposed to get up in the mid 80s today, but right now it's absolutely beautiful. So trying to get out and enjoy that. And so I'm going to show you something here in just a second. I've been complaining a lot about finding spider webs on these trails, and this is going to look so dumb, but I'm hoping I don't run into anybody on this particular trail today. But anyway, give me just a second, and I'm going to show you my solution to these spider webs hitting me in the face. All right, look at this monstrosity. I mean, it reminds me of Goofy off of Disney, with his ears hanging down. Anyway, this summer I've hit so many spider webs, and they're hitting me in the face. So I went to Hobby Lobby, got me some alligator clips, and then I call these pipe cleaners. I don't know what the actual name is, but used to use them in arts and craft when I was a kid. But anyway, attach these, got them hanging down, so hopefully the spider webs will hit these before they hit me in the face. Again, I hope I do not pass anybody on this trail, because this looks ridiculous, but at this point I'm about willing to try anything, because the spider webs have just absolutely been killing me this year. So anyway, we'll see. I'll let you know if I end up meeting anybody and how that conversation goes. But I'm gonna switch this over to the chest cam, and we'll get started. All right, so probably less than a 5-minute walk, and we come here to this intersection. If you continue to go straight, that is Turkey Pen Ridge, but we're actually going to make a left. This is where we just came from, but we're going to make a left and go to Crip Gap Trail up to Anthony Creek. So that's saying 1.6 So what is that, 3.2 plus the little bit of distance that I had down to this point. So anyway, it's under 4 miles. And I have seen a bear on this trail, and I have seen one up at Anthony Creek, and I'm really hoping we'll see one today, but fingers crossed. So this is what this trail looks like on this side of the road. Not too horrible. We'll get some incline up here as we get up to the road and cross over, and then that section of the trail up there is actually quite a bit of incline. I just want to show you what it looked like so far. All right, so the trail does widen up, and we are on part of the incline taking us up here to the road, but pretty rocky, and it's a steady little incline. It's going to get worse as we get up here closer to the road, but not too bad. This is the easier part of the trail, believe it or not. We get across the road, it definitely gets worse. The road is actually just right up here in front of us, but this trail circles around a little bit. I was hoping we'd see a car come by so you could see how close we were. See if one comes by here in just a second. All right, so there went one. Hopefully you could see that. I had to wait about 5 minutes for a car to finally pass through here. So this early in the morning, right now it is 7:40, so still a little early. A few people headed up to Cades Cove, but by this afternoon, well, actually here in a couple hours when I come back down, it's going to be chaotic, so there'll be a lot of traffic. All right, and this is what the incline looks like as we get up here closer to the road. So path goes all the way up here. There's a little shortcut I'm going to show you. I think there's a pull off right here. Actually, let's go ahead and cut up through here. But we got to pay attention to where that trail is at, because you have to go down the road and go across. All right. So here's this pull off. Hopefully you can see it. Big stump there. A lot of gravel. I pass this one all the time, and I have a hard time remembering if this is the correct one or not. And as you can see, the traffic has picked up a little bit in just the last few minutes. So there is parking here, so you can avoid parking where I did and come on up farther towards Cades Cove. This is where we would have come up on the trail. So there is quite a bit of pull-off parking here. And this trail is not marked on the other side. So we gotta wait here. The traffic is definitely increased, and by this afternoon it's gonna be like a game of Frogger for me trying to get back over to the other side. But anyway, you'll see this little stone bridge, and then the trail. You can see the path here. It's not marked, but this is the second half of Crip Gap. So as you can see, it goes right along the side of the road here for the first part, and then it'll veer off to the left up in the woods. But most people drive by this and they don't even know this trail is here. See if I can give you a little better view of the road here. So I mean, you're right here at it, but right now with it being so green, it's hard to see that trail when you're on the road itself. But anyway, we will continue on. Here's another shot of how close we are to the road. So technically you could probably pull off and take a shortcut and hit this trail from right here. Not really a pathway connecting that, but you could do it. All right, so this is where, see, we're still close to the road right here. But this is where the trail breaks off to the left, and this is where the incline really starts to get bad, because we've got to go up here and then we got to go all the way up there. So while it doesn't look that bad on video, it's a pretty good little hike, and will definitely test your cardio and your breathing. So anyway, be prepared for that. This is probably one of the worst parts of the trail, is having to go up this big incline here in a minute. All right, and this is where I was talking about. We just came up, made the loop. Now we're going up this part. Like I said, it doesn't look that bad, but man, I'm breathing heavy. All right, so in the fall and winter time, when the leaves are gone, you actually get a pretty good view of the mountainside there. But right now everything's so green and you just can't really see much. And that was at the peak of that incline. That's why I'm breathing so heavy. So anyway, it does level back out again here. All right, so when you finally start to come down off of that peak that we were at just a minute ago, you can tell that the trail sloping downward now, and it's a little bit wider, and it should be smooth sailing here on out. But that incline up there is gonna by far be the worst that you have to encounter. All right, so this is the first tree that I've come across that's been actually across the trail. So I mean, it's not too bad of an obstacle, but you know, this is a horse trail also, so that might cause some difficulty. All right, and you do come across this small water crossing. I'd actually forgotten about this one, and it's the first one I've seen so far. Not much of one, but at least it's something. All right, and I do remember this. I don't know really what it was used for, but you can tell it's definitely been here for a while. My guess is it looks like it's about the size of where you could park like a wagon or some piece of equipment, or maybe it was just a bench area where people could sit around. But with it being in that kind of a rectangular pattern, I would think it was more for a wagon or something that you would park in that area, but I really don't know. But it is kind of neat to see it when you're out here on the trail and you see something like that that's man-made. All right, so here we are at the intersection of Crip Gap Trail and Anthony Creek. So Crip Gap is where we just came from. Anthony Creek, if you can see that. So that's the path we just came down. If you go this way, this actually takes you down to the Cades Cove campground area. There's like a picnic area, which if you park there and hike up this is so much easier. So if you're gonna hike Anthony Creek, definitely do that. The way I came is probably the worst way that you could possibly hike this trail, but I did want to show you just Crip Gap. And so that way takes you down to Cades Cove. I'm gonna head up here just to see if there's anybody at the Anthony Creek horse area. Doesn't look like it, and if there's not, I'll show you around real quick. All right, I was gonna tell you this is the place where I've had the closest experience with a bear, and there is one right up here. Looks like a small one. Oh gosh, there's cubs up there too, so I'm not gonna get too much closer. Mama bear and cubs are not a good combo, so I'm gonna stay right here and probably get my camera out and see if I can film a little bit and get a couple of close-up pictures, but I'm not going to get any closer. But that is the campground area if you have horses. There's a bathroom area up here. There's a place where you can tie up the horses and then you can camp. So pretty good little area for that. But I will say the bear activity right in here is pretty crazy. So I'm assuming they know that there's people camping here on a regular basis and there's a food source. But yeah, this is about as close as I'm gonna try to get right here. All right, so I was hoping to see a bear today, and that that was awesome. Made my day. Mama bear and cub. I know you're not gonna be able to see it that well on the GoPro, but man, pretty exciting. But I kept my distance because mama bears, you don't want to mess with them. But I did want to pan back around. So this is where we were at. So you can just off in the distance, that's where the horse campground is. Here's that intersection. I'm gonna walk down here just so that you can see. You are close to the water here. So let me give you a shot of this while we're here. Alright, so hopefully you can see that. It actually opens up a lot more when you get down towards the bottom area. Like I said, that takes you right down to the Cades Cove picnic area, which is so much easier. You go towards Cades Cove, you make a left before you go into the entrance. If you stay straight, it takes you back to the campground area and the store. But if you make a left, it takes you into the picnic area. It just circles around, and you go to the end of that circle, the top of it, I guess. And there is plenty of places to park. There's a sign up that says that this is Anthony Creek, and as you can tell, this trail is so much easier to hike. And then you can go on up Anthony Creek. So that's what I would recommend. I'm not going all the way down there. I just want to get a short hike in today and show you what Crip Gap is like. Probably not one of the better trails, I would say, but definitely you're not going to see a lot of people on it. But I knew it was going to be within that 3 to 4 mile range, and I did want to come down here and see the horse campground area, and was hoping to see a bear, and I did. So pretty stoked about that. The spider web device that I came up with looks super silly, right? And I did take it off when I got here to the campground area, thinking that maybe there would be somebody down here and I didn't want them to see me. I did also take it across or off when I crossed the street because I was embarrassed by it, but that's one of them. And as you can see, it takes a minute to pop these on. They look ridiculous, but they did knock out about 95% of the spider webs. So thankful for that. Can't see this is really going to be a trend that catches on, but I would be interested to know how you would rank these. One being one of the coolest devices you've ever seen, and 10 being the most ridiculous thing that you've ever seen on YouTube. So I think I'm gonna get lots of 9s and 10s. But anyway, did work. Probably not gonna be something I use a lot, but during the summer with all these spider webs, I tell you what, they're just frustrating. So take this off so you can see me without that. So hopefully you enjoyed that video. If you did, please go ahead and hit the like button. I'd also go ahead and ask that you hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost anything. It'll just give you the notification the next time I publish another video. But until next time, just keep walking.